Welcome to the Dance to Heal podcast. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how life is a dance. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that mind and body connected movement is vital to healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I created Dance to Heal Wellness featuring the Spotlight Confidence Formula and also authored the best-selling award-winning book, Outside In Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new ways to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. My amazing audience, I have such a special treat for you today. We have the amazing voice healer, Amandine. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Jenny. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast.
Thank you. In this particular episode, I want to explore more about the healing effects of sound because we're mostly made of water, people. And you've heard enough of my podcast, we talk about this. Amandine has a modality that can be free, right, Amandine? How healing frequencies of sound can affect our health and even our well-being and even our clarity of intuitive truth. Will you speak a little bit to the audience about why that's even important to use sound for healing?
Sure. Well, thank you, yeah, for asking this question. We are made of water, but even beyond that, sound, we don't realize how sound has an impact on us. I mean, we can all say, like you put a song on, on your speakers, and if it's an upbeat, all of a sudden, even if you were feeling down, you're gonna be, yes, wanting to like, oh, okay, that makes me, and vice versa. Even if you're feeling happy and all of a sudden you're hearing one of those, Celine Dion song, or which one I'm talking about, all of a sudden you're gonna feel after a few seconds like, I want to cry, right? Because we are antennas. We are a whole body, not just our ears, are wired to receive frequency, receive sound. And it really has a profound impact on us. So when we are mindful about those impacts, we can start to pay attention to the type of frequencies. And that's the beauty of the world that we're living in now. There is a lot of things in science that are starting to really pay attention to that field. And so that allows us to really know what frequency helps with what. So like you said, there is frequencies that help with the physical aspect of healing. There is frequencies that are also here to help us feel grounded, to help us feel clear in our head, that help lower the noise. So it's a fantastic and a world, to dwell in where you feel like energy healing, spirituality kind of comes together with science. And so for me, I feel like this is where the magic happens. We have the data to prove the efficiency of that modality, but also all the aspect that we appreciate calming and the serenity of the holistic healing modalities.
I love that. So, audience members, before I start going off on what I love to do with our guests when they're here, I want to make sure you're aware that Amadine has a gift for us, and you can find that at harmonicodyssey.com. So the spelling, because I couldn't remember how to spell it, and Amadine had to put it in the chat for me. So it's HARMONIC, and then Odyssey is ODYSSEY.com. All right. When you go there, you can get that gift that she has for you. All right. My question about what you had to say, most important, is because as a performer, there is this duality of, oh, I'm going to dance physically what I hear in the music.
Mhm.
Also, when I do coaching for my clients who are performers, we discuss about being a conduit for the message that the audience needs to hear that day. Is there an aspect, right, of first you as the healer being a conduit and us as the receivers being a conduit?
Yes. And I would say even beyond that, for me, the magic of healing really happens when you bring frequency with intention. So, like you just said, yes, there has to be a theme. There has to be what is the purpose of us sitting today and bringing that level of relaxation. Only through that, I feel that we can push the right doors, be really intentional in the healing process. So I always love to have that intention and then bring not just sound, but all these other ancestral and modern tools that I've had a huge impact personally on my awakening. And there is breath, there is meditation, and there is a lot of like little literal mantra singing, affirmations, and all the things on top of it. If you layer with frequencies, that yes, that's how I feel like I'm a better transmitter of whatever needs to be sparked that day. And I feel that's also, like you said, even the people that are here are conduit. And so when you bring those rails and you show exactly which door they need to pass through, they're not just sitting around. I'm like, yes, this is relaxing, but what am I doing with myself? Okay, I'm going to think about my grocery list. You know what I mean? And I feel like you can, as the, I don't like to say necessarily performer, but I can feel their energy. Okay, they are getting there. I can feel their heart opening. And that fuels me into knowing which next word I should deliver. And sometimes it just helps me channel something that I don't know where it's coming from. Like, I need to tell you this, or you need to use those words. I don't know why, but this is not for me. This is for you. And that's where the magic happens to me.
I love that. So, audience members, performers I generally love performing are the ones who receive energy from the audience and then we alchemize it and then give it back to them. And I think that you do it from a similar yet more focused intention on healing, right? Because
Yes.
there are singers who heal people through their voices when they're performing, and you also do the same. And I love that you're like, well, I'm hesitant to use the word performer. There is a performance aspect of it to it,
True.
because you're pulling our attention to you because our intention is to pay attention to you when you're doing the sound or the voice healing or the combination with the breath work. My question in addition to that is how does one know when they're in intention and when they're not?
They have to do that effort, take the time and take the space to say, um, I would like today, I'm opening myself to this. If it's heart centered meditation, which I love to do, grounding and heart centered are the main one that I feel we very much need. I will be like, I will invite them to share their, to think and dwell in their own intention as they are settling into the moment. And if they don't have one, I will lead with one. Like, I am opening my heart to the world and to myself, or something like this that is aligned with the theme of the event. And I feel that just saying that, even if it's outside of us, but putting the words really helps our subconscious here. Oh, this is where we're going. Kind of like we're in a ship. And if you're just on the sea, it's going to be pretty. But if you want to go to a certain city, you need to tell, the captain, hey, we're going to New York, wherever the destination. And that's the only way for you to bring your ship to the final destination.
I love that. Is there at any point during the cruise though where we can just be in the ocean enjoying the sound of the waves? Because right in our society, it's just very much do 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 do. You're not allowed to rest. And I loved your reminding of us to know the difference when you're in intention of reaching a goal versus when you would rest. How does one incorporate the sound healing when we need to rest? I mean, how do you know when we need to rest?
So here is the thing. And first of all, rest is not a reward. It's a necessity, people. So please rest, okay? Be a rebel and go against the grain and do that for yourself, because it can guarantee you will feel like you're wasting time maybe in the beginning, and then you're going to realize how much energy that gives you to take that break, and it's going to save you time sort of. But yes, no, so that's the beauty of the work that we do. Once the intention is set, it's kind of like you wrote your letter, you put it in a mail, you trust USPS to take your mail and bring it to the right destination. You're not, like calling them every day, like, hey, where's my mail? No, right? And that's the same thing with the universe. You put your intention out, you said those words. Sometimes I will even ask the people that come in my sessions, feel the words that you just said. How do they feel? What does it spark? Does it spark like some heaviness, or does it bubble something? It's just feel it without judgment. And once we've felt that and we've released that this is my intention, your subconscious is doing the work. You forget about it. You let the universe do its thing. I heard a beautiful woman who said once, you don't need to know the way knows the way. So you set your intention, and then I can guarantee, if you're still wondering when to relax during my session, I'm not doing a good job that day because I bring you on that meditation. We're going to start to forget about the world, forget the past, the stress, the anxiety, all in the moment, all in the breath, all in the feeling our body. And without judgment, again, it's all about just feeling. Oh, I'm feeling tight here. I'm feeling light there. And through that already we're starting to forget anything outside of ourself, outside of the sound. By the time my meditation is coming to an end and I'm leaving you, okay, this is where you're going to dwell for the next 20, 30 minutes. I know that the next 20 to 30 minutes you're going to be in a deep state of relaxation. You will have forgotten in your intention. You will have forgotten anything except the sound and the visuals that you saw during the meditation.
So, my wonderful audience, are you listening to what we're saying? You don't need permission to rest. It is essential to your needs. It's not a reward. Because, for me, having grown up as a first generation immigrant to this country, that was an unheard of rule. What do you mean it's a reward? It's not a reward. It's always like the ultimate reward, like when you die, you can rest. So basically it's like death with rest. Every other time other than that is work. Work because it meant it was your worth. Work was equal to your worth, right? And sometimes actually rest is also equal to your worth. At are there certain frequencies that are better for rest versus when they're setting an intention?
Yeah, so when I started, I'm going to talk about tuning first because I feel like their frequency is a lot more precise. I mean, when I use the crystal bowls, the beauty is that there is 7 bowls for the 7 chakras. And usually the C one is the little red one over there, and the orange one are the deeper ones, are the grounding, the root and the sacral chakra. So their frequency helps with that. And I usually lay it for the whole sound bath, one or the other, to make sure that we keep that grounding energy connection. When I use the tuning forks, I like to lay them during the sound bath on the balls or on the voice. And I will use lower frequencies. You have the 126, 128, but I like sometimes to even use, especially on one, even deeper ones like 64 or 32, which the wand is so big is ridiculous. But those frequencies are very low. And I can guarantee you the moment you hear them, you're like, okay, let me recalibrate my body. Even me, right before I do a session, I'm gonna listen to them like, does this, no puns intended, resonate with what I'm supposed to do today? And you're gonna be like, okay, this is the ultimate grounding frequency. But if you go higher up, like 526, for instance, is more like the heart opener. So it will have a calming element, but it's not for the same reason. And you continue to go higher up, it goes up in your chakras and will work on something different. But yet the lower ones are always the best one for grounding.
I love that. I love that because, the audience members, if you were listening to the audio portion of the podcast, you're not on the YouTube, you missed Amadine pointing backwards towards her array of bowls on her floor behind her. All right. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel and see that, because when we're listening to something somewhat that is this powerful, oftentimes if you're a visual learner, you don't need to just hear it, you need to come and see us talking on the YouTube channel. So make sure you come to do that. And then if you have any questions for us, make sure you ask it in the comments and we will be sure to come back and answer them. Okay, we do have learners, Madina, I know you know this, but I'm going to remind our listeners, there are people who are afraid to submit their emails, or they don't want to book a call at the beginning, and that's fine. We still want you to have access to your answers, right, if you have any questions. So for me, I've noticed that I'm as we heal as a society, we're more and more aware of the use of things like frequencies, because it's not taught in our schools. It's more, has more people become more verbal, like yourself and me. There were YouTube channels that would be like, oh, listen to this. It's like a 10-hour frequency music on a loop on YouTube, right? And people would listen to that. And I love that you were explaining how the lower frequencies are for your lower chakras, and the higher ones for you, they become a little bit higher, more like in your mind versus physically in your body, right? Are there things that you would like us to be aware of? Not warn per se, or maybe warn if you feel very strongly. What are things we need to be aware of that could be a negative or a contraindication for us to do on our own? Is there
Hmm.
anything?
So, yes. Well, if you have a pacemaker, don't. That's
Mhm.
one of the only things where it's like, we have to know, because this is frequencies, and those are very powerful. Um, if if you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed, if you've been in a very dark place and you're trying to use the frequencies to help yourself, you have to be very gentle and start with very short amount, because what can happen inside can feel subtle, but it can be, spark some real emotions and some real burst of energy. If you're not ready for it and you don't have a guide that is here to help you, can be overwhelming. So
Yes.
sorry.
I said
No.
yes. I was going yes in the background. Yes.
For instance, even as a healer, especially when I do one-on-one and I use the tuning forks, I will not, spend 15 minutes on one frequency. I will calm the biofield of the person once or twice as I'm feeling that this is where the big hurt is. But outside of that, then you need to let the body and the initial frequencies to do their job. And it's not like this, it's not a Xanax. But it does have a very long lasting impact. So starting slow. And if you are pregnant, that's another thing. You can do sound baths, you can do frequency, but do not put the frequencies directly on your body. I've done sound baths while I was pregnant. I've created courses, so I know it's safe, but never directly on you. Yeah, those would be the thing. I would highly, yes, like you said, some people don't feel comfortable, maybe sometimes because we are not fully ready yet to step into the healing space, and that's fine, but don't let this prevent you from even asking questions. Like you said, if you feel like you need to reach out, you have to do this, even if it's just, yes, a comment on the video, a DM. It doesn't have to be through like a paid something, big, a big commitment.
I love that. I love that reminder. And audience members, Amadine is one of the few people that I love the way she approached it. She's very trauma aware. Most of us in this process who are starting to heal, we're not even aware or acknowledge that we come from any type of trauma. Like most of us will say, and this is a big deal for me because I made a conscious choice to be much more open about my childhood not being through rose colored lenses, right? Because that, again, no one's born with directions. I don't care how experienced the parents are. There's still a little bit of a guessing game about what you as a baby needed. And during that time, stressors occurred where you invented in your little baby mind some languaging or belief systems that are causing you to see the world in a certain way. And as you heal and redo that programming that you might have accidentally given yourself, her reminder that if there's an overwhelm stepping in, just be aware of that, and we're here for you as you start this journey. Binaural beats, when the things go back and forth, is that something? Because certain people love it, certain people it drives us nuts. I'm more than love it. However, there are certain people it just really puts them on edge. Is
Hmm.
there a thing, like someone who wants to try it but they're not sure, that you would recommend we think about before we start doing that kind of stuff?
I think that people should try them. I've tried recently an app where you can create exactly the frequency that you want. Yes, hold on, let me try to find
What
it.
is that app? Because I love that. See how
Yeah,
giving she is, folks? Wow.
oh, HF, oh yeah, HF, sorry, Highway. So it's an app, and so you go in there and you put the type of frequency that you want, and then it will create a binaural beat based on that frequency. So the first thing that jumped to mind when you say that is, for me, is, if maybe sometimes there are people who are going to try the binaural beats and try a frequency that is going exactly where they need to work, but they're not ready for that, transformation to occur, because there is so much trauma. It needs to be peeled like an onion and not going right into the heart of it. And so that can be sometimes why people don't like it. So I would say try an app, try the YouTube videos, try it for, 30 seconds and see what and then take it away and just feel yourself. It's going to be always the most important thing, is to stop trying to find information outside of us, and stop and even put our hands on our chest, on our belly, and just feeling, okay, what does my body has to say? Because our bodies are amazing. We're Because of marketing and the economy, we always have those messages telling us that we're not good enough, that we need to change this and that and this and that. But the truth of the matter is, we have amazing bodies that can do the most surreal things. And one of them is that when you listen to your body, you listen to your intuition, you connect with something deep inside of you that is connected to the rest of the universe. So taking the time to feel us, like, okay, am I feeling nothing? That's also valid. Am I do feeling better or worse than before? And just play around with that. Okay, I just tried a grounding thing and I didn't like it, so maybe it's because I need to work on something higher up. Or it's really a game of coming in contact and in communication with ourselves through the binaural. But to finish, the binaural beats are amazing because they are basically the same frequency, just a 1 or 2 hertz of difference. And so what happens is that because those frequencies are so close to each other, they kind of go between each other, and our brain analyzes that proximity by creating that movement. But this is completely brain made. If we had maybe the ears of another animal, we would not hear binaural beats the way we do. And it's that difference that create the calm inside. So that's a little bit of an explanation why the binaural beats can be so powerful.
That's so helpful. I wrote a book for cancer survivors about processing the feeling of being a survivor. And my audience members, we're all survivors of the pandemic. Okay, we're still here, we're survivors. That's a big T. So it
Hmm.
doesn't really matter anymore if you had any type of trauma in the past. We all survived it in some shape or form. And whether or not you're aware of it, we are all actually quite in some form of chaos post this very big event, right? And so the binaural beats, the way you explained it, Amadine, is a way for you to safely come back to your present, which is essential for you to then listen to your body. Amadine, thank you so much for coming, and for your generous just knowledge sharing and sharing with the app. Audience members, we'll have to have Amadine come back, okay? Because we've hit past what we normally record because I just didn't want to stop any of the talking. I just had so much fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, right?
And
It's
if I just may, if anybody is like interested in what they heard, like you've mentioned in the beginning, I'm offering a 20-minute sound healing with a journal to help you really feel yourself after listening to the sound. But if you're looking for ways to explore that and you're afraid to do it by yourself, not that, not just me, but there is plenty of teachers all around. I know that I'm available on Insight Timer, on Aura, and on Wikipedia like every week for free. Um, so you can come and explore and try, no strings attached. But if you didn't resonate with me, but with the field, then know that we are many sound healers and we would rather, you come and ask your question rather than try things and have a bad experience.
exactly, exactly. And remember for my returnee viewers, right? Are if you've been doing the muscle testing we talked about, make sure you check in with your body about what you're ready for so that you have the best forward experience going. Again, if you're constantly checking with your body, then you'll know when to move on, looking up Amadine and attending her lives or accessing her harmonicodyssey.com gift, right? And also, if you've been doing the danceandheal.com gift from me, you will be in touch and know if this is for you, and then you're just going to jump on it and not wait. Amadine, thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for listening to the Dance to Heal podcast with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of inspiring triumph and learn more ways that you can heal yourself. To work with me and continue your journey, visit danceandheal.com. Are you ready to move?